nobody has anything bad to say. It's always really refreshing. People should come, people should play, and a big thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. Well, the real answer to that is that we co-organize this event obviously with Fantastico Group, the owners of Joy Station, and we just do it because of the passion about bowling. That's it. So when you love what you do, always the result is positive, I would say, and always friendly. But it seems that this final is not going to be so friendly. We see that Kim has already 3 in a row, and Dubois Maxime, who has been leading the first 2 games, he is. Could he be in trouble or not? What do you think, Dominic? You have bowled this event. You know these lanes. We want your opinion on that.
It's tough. So Kim flew in late yesterday. He wasn't able to arrive before Saturday afternoon. Bowled 1 squad, qualified. He's bowled great all day today, especially towards the later parts, towards this final. Fully deserves to be the leader. But Maxime has bowled really well in the last 2 games. He bowled really well to get to the final. He bowled 250, 240, which is a score he'd take again, I am sure, in this final. But a little bit of transition, especially on the right lane. He left the 2-8 the first frame on that lane, and then the third frame he left the 3-6. So neither one of those are giving him a lot of confidence on his ball reaction on that lane. That's kind of how I felt when I bowled, that it was hard to trust ball reaction sometimes when you make a move or you try to make the ball hook earlier or later, and it became quite hard to control that. But obviously a very high scoring event. Kim has bowled fantastic and still looks favourite right now. He's already up the best part of about 19, 20 pins, and with the strike here it increased that.
Yeah, I did notice that he was the very last entry, the very last registered bowler in the event. I did not realize that he only bowled the last squad of the event.
5 p.m. He wasn't able. He wanted to arrive and bowl Saturday at 1 p.m. He said he had to work, I think, Friday, maybe even Saturday morning. So he was able to travel, get here. He bowled quite well about a month ago in France. And Kim's a very active bowler around Europe and likes to play lots of events. Sometimes it works out that you just aren't able to get here on like the Wednesday or Thursday like you normally were planned to. But yeah, he bowled really well off the plane, not much sleep. Got some sleep last night, and then he's been bowling since 9 a.m. this morning.
Well, he's going to have a good payoff of €7,000 if he wins this event. So there's nothing wrong with that.
He's been bowling really well. He's a very good competitor. He's a good winner. But the same can be said about Maxime. I think Maxime has a couple of European Tour second finishes. And this is right around that level. There's no difference between European Tour and this event. But the hardest part is when you throw urethane, like the amount of transition that you create for yourself. It isn't reactive transition. It changes in a way that it can make it easier, can make it harder. But Maxime, he's bowled with urethane the last 2 games. There's no way he's going to change to reactive now. He just needs to find a way to give Kim a match.
So let's see what Dubois Maxime is about to do on the 5th frame.
This is the when you're staying on the lane on a pair for a little bit too long, maybe your transition. It's not easy to figure out what you're supposed to do when you're bowling further left using urethane, and then it goes away. I think that's probably the hardest thing. But the last couple of games and his semi-final round is obviously really good. But Kim has definitely got him at the moment.
Well, the mental game of Maxime seems to be pretty solid. He didn't seem to have any trouble before. Obviously, he's trying to find a way to strike now, but we will see.
Yeah, really nice. I'm not sure how old Maxim is. I spent a little bit of time with him because he's in the same hotel as me this week. With Julien Simard from France as well. I think, it's a laid-back personality, takes everything in the stride, very good bowler. You just have to try and figure out things shot on shot. There's not much else you can do. So, plenty of frames left.
Yeah, but we do see young bowlers getting better and better, Dominic. I mean, the level of youth at the moment in Europe has grown so much. Am I right? I mean, it's the old good days. There were specific bowlers that were conquering, let's say, the tour. Not in our days. You see more youth bowling. The mental game is pretty solid because usually when you are young, is your mental game. Of course, your experience as well, but the mental game, which is not in a good place.
Yeah, I think most sports has evolved a lot, especially individual sports where you get to see yourself on video. You don't have to trust just your coach's eye.
Yes.
You have a good coach, but if your coach says something is happening and then you don't really feel it, you get to see it on video. And I think that enhancement has changed completely. I think our bowling environment has changed a little bit more for power. A lot of the kids have so much power and they're so good as well. So at such a young age, like you say. And it's a credit to watching them bowl and compete. And I'm sure if you look at the top 10 in this event, the top 20, there's a lot of really good. The future of Europe is right there. It's very impressive.
There were quite many bowlers below 21 years old. This is what I was referring to. But well, it seems that Kim will not have an issue on this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for Maxim. Maxim can still strike out for 248. That's what he has to think about. No matter what Kim does, Maxim has to be thinking if he strikes out, what can happen. You never know in bowling. You never know. Maxim hasn't had a double yet. Kim has the front six. You would think that's it, but you don't know. Kim can go up, make the spare, miss the spare. He's on 240 pace. Actually, Maxim has really good count for 240. This is a big shot for Maxim, though, because he hasn't struck on this lane this whole game. He's gone high, light, light again. Well, actually, I think he went light, high, and then light again with the two pin. So it's not easy for him to fit the ball into the right ball reaction spot and even think about carry because he hasn't hit the pocket yet on lane 6.
We just have to wait for a few seconds since we have a pin on the gutter. And with the kind help of Dian Dinev from Bulgaria, who makes the crowd really happy.
Crowd favourite. Everybody loves him.
Don't forget, Dian is also one of the people who is working behind the scenes for the Bowl Zone platform. And we have the pleasure of using this technology for quite many years now in our events. A very nice, interesting platform that gives us live streaming, and we combine it with Cubica MF online scoring. Remember that you can refresh your screen whenever you want to get updated statistics for the bowlers. And this is where I also have to obviously comment about the people who are behind this tournament. The Fantastico Group, who has been the owner of Joy Station and the organizer of this event. Bowl Zone, who is helping. Obviously our company CVC from Athens, Greece, and our partners Kegel and Storm. And Cubica MF, who are always next to us, supporting these events, and the sponsors of this year's event, which is Raffles Olympus, CIMID. And Dominic, we see that he did manage to strike on both lanes, Maxim in the last two shots.
Yeah, this is big. This is his good lane. This is the lane that he struck 2 out of 3 times so far, but he looks very comfortable in this lane. And getting that strike before is really big for him. But this, obviously, for any momentum. And also, importantly, that's a lane that Maxime is going to finish on. So he just needs one more strike in lane 6 to put potentially all the pressure on Kim. Even if Kim doubles, he will need a mark if Maxime strikes out. So it isn't over and done yet, but yeah, Maxime needs to put all the pressure on Kim. Almost no matter what happens now, like the ball is definitely in Kim's court, but he's earned that right in the first 7 frames. But it does get a bit more interesting. Good shot from Kim. The lane that he's going to finish on, which is important. So perhaps Kim picked the right lane to finish on. He liked his ball reaction a little bit better. He's 4 strikes out of 4 on that lane, and he left a flat 7 on lane 5 last time. So let's see what happens here. If Kim strikes here, that puts him in the 250s. He only needs a spare in the 10th frame, but that's not always the easiest thing to do. But if he doesn't strike here, he puts him in the 240s. He'd have to strike out for 250, but Maxime still needs to strike out either way.
He did got the strike he wanted.
The only way Maxime wins this is if he strikes out and Kim opens. Right, this has been Maxime's tricky lane. But his last shot was really good. Very impressive. But he needs another one. Good shot.
Good shot, but
good shot, but like you say, that wasn't his favourite lane, it seemed. And bowling 3 games in the same pair with Urethane, it kind of caught up with him, it looked like. But to come from where Maxime did earlier in the day, where it didn't like it was going that well, he bowled a really good block in the semi-finals. He won the step ladder first game, the step ladder second game. Just not quite enough to beat Kim on a very impressive performance by Kim Bolivar. So if Maxime strikes out, it'll be 227. Kim would need 3. On a day where it feels like he's averaging 250.
that won't be a problem. You never know.
Good performance from Maxime. Another good tournament. He'd done very well in qualifying as well. He bowled 1 pair, he bowled 300, then he bowled 270, and he came back again the next day and then made all of the buys. So, very good event for Maxime. So I have to say, I beat Kim in the final of the tournament in Munich, and I beat Maxime in the final in France. So it just shows how good they have been making finals. Kim being the winner this time, but they've been bowling very well for a very long time, making finals consistently. It was just Kim's day today.
And what's your next tournament, Dominic?
I actually travel to Malaysia in a couple of weeks, Sarawak Open. But I don't know if we really have many European Tour events left. There's a couple of events left in Sweden before the end of the year. The AOK is going to be starting the European Tour January. And then the Bullmaster, which hopefully we hear more about fairly soon. But a great day for Kim. Big competitor, very impressive.
And that's the last shot for this year's Sofia International Open. And right after, we're going to have the award ceremony. And that's a strike for Kim. Dominic, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
I will see you at the award ceremony.